My name's Aaron Dixon. I am the founder of Central House, a nonprofit that works with young people and young adults. Well, I ran for U.S. Senate against Maria Cantwell. Of course, one of the main issues with my campaign was the war in Iraq, but really the most important issue for me was the war on drugs. Our campaign theme was out of war into our community. And we recognize that anybody who does any type of work in poor, oppressed communities, they can see the effects of the war on drugs. And because the crack cocaine epidemic has completely devastated the African American community, not just in Seattle, but throughout the country. And so I've been working with gang-involved at-risk youth for the past 20 years. And many of those youth were selling drugs, were involved in selling drugs, many of them mainly so that they can support their families, because many of them had parents who were addicted to drugs as well.
Now, I think Washington State, certainly Seattle, kind of prides itself on being reform-minded, and yet the percentage of blacks arrested and incarcerated in Washington State is enormous in comparison. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it is. Almost 60% of the inmates in Washington State are African American. You know, they're continuing to arrest and sentence young men and young women of color at a very high rate, which is the reason why I founded my organization, was to work from another direction on trying to have an impact on the number of youth of color going into the prison system. And what we do is we have a youth leadership project in 5 different high schools. We want to get it into at least 10 more high schools where we work with youth at risk who are low self-esteem, and work on giving them self-esteem, building up their self-esteem, helping them to encourage them to think about setting goals and going to school, and teaching them about social movements. We've been very successful with our program. We also have a transitional housing program for 18 to 24-year-olds, because a lot of young people, because of their parents' situation, end up homeless for a variety of reasons. So I don't think we as a community can put all our hopes in thinking that the system is going to be reformed. We have to take steps ourselves. We have to take action ourselves into reconnecting and rebuilding our communities and our family structures, and reaching out to our young people and helping them and providing them with the things they need, whether it's housing or helping to support their self-esteem, or whether it's jobs, because jobs is always a big issue. You know, there's just not enough decent jobs for young people of color that they can get into that will support them in their future. I'm an ex-felon myself, but it is such a, it really is a statement about our culture and the contradictions that exist in our culture and our society, that we would send a person to prison for a crime that committed, and we demand that they pay their debt to society, and we demand that when they get out that they do not reoffend. Yet there are so many barriers against them when they get out. You know, they can't find housing. If their parents, most of them have lived in low-income housing, they can't go live there. They can't stay there because of the laws that were passed. They can't get financial aid to go to college because of the laws that they were passed. And many employers, just as you said, they are very, very reluctant for hiring someone who has done some time. So it's a catch-22, and it just is a tremendous statement about how contradictory our society is.